And if not, we'll end early. You guys go start the rest of your midweek. But 1 Million Cups is an organization founded out of the Kauffman Foundation in Kansas City. There are about 108 to 110 locations that every Wednesday are putting on presentations like what we're about to embark on. And they bring up 2 people to tell their stories in about a 6-minute, kind of review. And they're not selling anything, and they're not going to get into, pitching and selling. It's really about telling us their story, where they are, maybe what inspired them to start or get into what they're doing, but specifically where they're stuck. And that's one of the most unique things about 1 Million Cups is we say, what can we as a community do for you? And we ask the presenters how we can help. And they say, well, I'm looking for this. I need introductions. I need sales. I need such and such. And they'll tell you what they need. And we'll be able to opine and share our thoughts and ideas. And what's great is the presenter gets some help. But chances are somebody else in the audience is experiencing a similar problem. And so they may get some help as well. We have coffee. It's delicious. We are, Betsy, did anybody see Betsy this morning? I heard she was going to stop buying. Okay, well, sometimes the person who provides the coffee, she's out in the suburbs, but she comes by from time to time. That's you 3. We're also, it's a nonprofit. We're provided the space. Hey, not Hater, but he's here. You can see him. It's like they have this opaque frost in the glass, but like your whole team is like 6'2" and taller. So we have this. The space is sort of like donated. I mean, they host companies and businesses, and they'll pay for the time, but we don't have to. We're a nonprofit. It's part of the reason we ask people to use this QR code to register and let us know that they were here. This is really important, as 1MC will use the registration counts in their applications for grant funding. So if you could please scan the QR code. They're not going to sell you anything. They're not going to ask for money. All right, get out of the way for a second. But that's it. Well, I do want to thank Team Working by TechNexus for giving us the room. It is an odd layout today. It's sort of like, is it a classroom? Is it working sessions? It's sort of an oddball layout, but we're grateful for the space. We're grateful for the coffee. Who puts cream in their coffee? Who's like, yeah, I like a little milkier, a little white, a little creamer. Well, I'd like to thank Josh for bringing the cream today. All right. It's nice to have a community member. I mean, it's just really helpful. Like their coffee provider is amazing, but they're like, yeah, we just provide the coffee. And like, okay, but some people put stuff in it. And so we've got to go find cream and stuff to put in the coffee. And every so often a community member's like, I mean, I'll bring it. I'll just stop by a shop and pick it up and bring it. So thank you. We appreciate you. Appreciate your coffees and cream. All right, we're going to go ahead and welcome up Brian. And can we give a standing ovation for Brian? That'd be awesome. Come on, let's go. Give him a lot of energy. I'll cue up his presentation here. And
do you want me to click or
you've got this pointing down. It's funny, everybody wants to aim here. You're aiming at the PC and down will advance the slides.
Perfect.
And oh, I don't use this.
That wasn't me.
PC cleaning mode. Nice.
Function L.
Maybe, did you hold
Lock
it?
device, big RAM. Okay.
Move the mouse.
That's new.
It's a new one.
It's because the hotkey for.
You can fill up a little time in between.
Yeah. No, I
Oh,
know.
you got the mic too.
I'll give it to him. All right, give me a second here.
Soft
After
bar.
cleaning, press function and L. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's because I did Control L,
Cool.
but I guess I hit function. All right. Why don't you take this for the video? They'll hear you in the room, but we're streaming, casting,
Okay.
whatever effect.
Does it make anything louder? No, just normal.
No.
Okay.
For the small icon up there.
Sounds good. Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. Super excited to be here. I was actually here almost exactly a year ago. I think I was the second presenter for like the second 1 MC way back in February of 2025. So excited to be back. First time kind of seeing this space. My name's Brian Lee. I've been here in Chicago for about 22 years now. Born and raised in New York, but people always ask which city I like better, and definitely biased. Love Chicago in many, many ways. So not going to spend time talking about that, but appreciate the feedback and hopefully, learnings that I'll take here today that you can also take for your own companies and whatever you're building. So I've had a little bit of what I also call almost 3 types of careers up to this point. And today, really, my day-to-day focus is really centered around Gildre. And the tagline, if you will, or what we're really focused on is the idea of you can level up with founders and advisors who have built, scaled, and exited. And so at the end of the day, my career kind of evolved into 3 different ways. I started my first 10 years in CPG at the Hershey Company, Ferrero Group, in your sales and product type role. Got into entrepreneurship through a little bit unconventional route. If you're familiar with like escape rooms, axe throwing, opened up about a dozen of those facilities here in the US, had a lot of fun while still working my full-time job. And that's what helped me launch Roamly, which is my first software company. Is not doing, phenomenally well and not well enough where, it's a lifestyle business, pays for some bills, things like that, but gave me the chance to go after we went through the Draper Accelerator out in San Mateo to join an accelerator myself as head of product, where I met my 2 co-founders here at Gildre. And so we'll kind of do a quick dive into it. I know we've got, 6 minutes, so feel free to, tap the watch or something if it's time to wrap up. But we'll kind of jump into a couple quick things. So the concept of Gildre, and I won't necessarily, maybe I'll stand in the middle here. I won't read this, but the idea, it's the home for founders who execute. So what we realized through working at the accelerator is that, this isn't such a novel concept. There are, I get it, right? Hundreds, maybe not hundreds, but lots of other types of founder communities, groups, incubators, accelerators out there. But we just found that they were very fragmented between those that cater to either a specific industry, specific stage, or the type of founder. Lots of the social type groups, right? Go to the founder yacht club or the dinner party or play pickleball. And there's nothing wrong with that. But really our focus was really trying to work with founders that had that serious mindset of, I'm here to build, right? And I'm here to build, whether it's because I want to help people, help something that I saw as a problem myself, or just find the freedom that they wanted to take as a founder. So we launched in 2023, coming up on 3 years now, and really focused on 6 core pillars of how we operate and how we develop our programming. And so a lot of it comes to our results-driven mentor matches, to building that community, right? That such as the community that you've built here, which is so amazing. And a lot of things, again, that you'll kind of see, again, not so different than other types of community programs, but the biggest differentiator that we take is really that kind of white glove personal approach, where we've had, or at least currently, there's about 200 founders in our group, really globally, but about 70% here in the US. And so the biggest thing is, myself, the other 2 managing partners, our 2 community managers, we meet with each founder one-on-one every month, depending on the stage they're at, right? And provide that kind of one-on-one support, where I've had the privilege of being able to mentor at Techstars and Founder Institute, but I know I'm not an expert in a majority of things startups. And so where my wheelhouse is, I will be the first to say, you should talk to someone else instead. And that's, I think, what a big important piece of what, not just what we do, but other types of communities and founder groups also focus on. So just a quick little map of where we're kind of broken out of, and a lot of what we've seen from founders, again, building in other countries, other continents, but especially here in the US, right, where what my ask will be at the end is how we can continue to provide that support across other communities. All right, so then the very quick story is, so I was working in Accelerate in Austin as their head of product. My co-founder, Michael Frank, was one of the original investors. And then my other co-founder, Tyga Gamel, led the mentor program. And essentially, we were there for 2 years. When it closed, we launched Gildre. And the biggest thing we've seen really so far is through our collaborations, we've met so many other great groups, 1 Million Cups among them, but all over the US. And the biggest thing for us is, why can't we collaborate and build together with these types of communities? Because in a world where so many startups and companies view similar companies as competition, I'm not going to lie, there are certainly some competitors to what we do, but because of the stage that we're at, right, we're firmly focused on like MVP to first customer to 5 million ARR. And we see plenty of other groups that do, 10 million ARR plus or 10 million ARR minimums, or, idea stage, and I haven't left my full-time job yet to, I want to start a company. So we've collaborated with a lot of groups that are outside of our scope because we realize, hey, there are so many different life cycles and journeys to being a founder. So we can fill our part in that messy middle and let other experts do their part. So really at the end of the day, the biggest 2 things that we'll talk about, the last 2 slides here, what we've done and where we could use support. And so we have 5 new chapters that we really launched this year, or really just last week. And so Chicago, San Francisco, New York, Austin, Boston, and then LA, which is left off here. And these chapter groups, right, certainly not as big as what you're seeing in this room, right? Some of these are just 10-person groups, 8-person groups. But a lot of what we do is hosting monthly executive workshops, things that bring people where you don't have the ability to be able to meet together, right, in one room like we have here, and finding ecosystem partnerships through Founder Institute, VC Village, some other groups like that. And so that's been a lot of fun. But again, virtual, as everyone knows here, does not replace this. And so we're trying to be able to implement that while still supporting our members, right? We have one founder who's in not even the major city in South Dakota. And I feel bad because we can't, we don't have an in-person network necessarily for her out there. So virtual can play a big piece. But then how do we help, again, our members also in these major hubs? So really the biggest support area, and you can see Mr. Hernandez also hanging out with one of the pictures. So the biggest really support is as we're looking for these types of events, right, and system partners, it doesn't need to be, a massive space like this, or it doesn't need to be like anything super fancy. But, whether it's communities here in Chicago, other cities that you have friends that are doing similar things like 1 million cups, like maybe what we're doing, we're always looking for different, whether it doesn't have to be a formal sponsor, just other people doing awesome community initiatives, because everyone's trying to grow at the end of the day. And for us, it's how can we grow together and thoughtfully, where the mission's very similar. So, what events are founders looking for? Always welcome that feedback too. This, just coffee and chatting. Sometimes that's the easiest thing. Sometimes it's, do you care to sit through a workshop? Do you want to go, indoor skiing? Do you want to go play pickleball? The things that people care about now as people look for that third space, what is really important to you? Because we hear internally within our group and from just people I talk to on a daily basis, but that's such a small piece of the pie. So that's really my biggest ask, and where we could use support. Do you know people in other cities here in Chicago that, again, just are looking for these types of partners, and just also curious to your own feedback, right? What do you find most valuable in your personal and professional lives for events that are fun, that you enjoy? So that's my quick monologue. Thank you for listening, and appreciate all the feedback.
Any thoughts? So with the founders that you're targeting, I guess clarity, are you mainly looking at companies that are primarily bootstrapped or primarily looking to be venture backed? Because I would see, it seems like you're primarily focused on startups, not like lifestyle businesses, but in that kind of realm of startups. What are you really targeting?
Yeah, great question. And so I don't want to say like a little bit of both, because I know that's just like an easy answer, but primarily I'd say about 60% of the founders in our ecosystem are what we call in the build phase. So $500,000 ARR and under. And again, that could be your product, venture-backed startup. That could be your lifestyle business, bootstrap company. And the other 40% are what we call in the build phase, $1 million and up. But again, same route, right? We have executive coaches, we have your B2C apps, we have B2B software. So it is truly everything. But at the same point, right, to your point, we're not, if someone comes with a restaurant concept, I'll be the first to say we probably aren't able to support in the same way that we could support a consumer platform. But whether you're venture backed or bootstrapped, that's not a concern to us, because we have founders that have done both, so we know we could support on either of those lenses. But yeah, thank you. Great question.
You have a background in kind of experience, right? You had said axe throw. What was the other thing?
Yeah, escape rooms. Yep.
So I guess, how are you finding, because what are you doing to find some of these yourself, given that you have some tangential experience in finding locations that bring people together for events?
Yeah, and I mean, so I still own an escape room here in Wicker Park, up in Evanston. So we still have these spaces. And for us, it was initially like, okay, we didn't, escape rooms are fun, but no one wants to do an escape room weeks after weeks. So you kind of want to do different things. And so through that network, we've been able to find some unique activities. And so being able to kind of just reset, right, and not have to think about work for at least an hour is great. But also, how are you consistently, bettering yourself and taking away learnings to be able to apply to your business? So, we're all super busy here, and I'll be the first to admit, between a lot of the context switching I do on a daily basis, it burns me out pretty quickly. So I don't have as much time as I'd nearly like to dedicate to really finding these great partners, these great spaces and sponsors. So that's really the toughest thing for me because my two partners, one lives in New Jersey. Fun fact, I've never actually met him. We all worked remote at the accelerator. So we've worked together for 3 years. He's about to turn 70 and he's proud of it. He'd be happy with me to share that. So we joke he sold his first company before. I'm squarely millennial before I was even born. And then my third co-founder, Tyga, who's based in Missoula, Montana, has actually been living in Buenos Aires for the past 8 months. And so we all never really get to see each other, nor do we really get to tap into each other's like local communities. So that's the biggest struggle for me, honestly, is being able to find time aside from that to develop those relationships.
I noticed Jason in the bottom left.
Oh, yeah.
This is the founder's guy. He does a lot of his events with Mo's.
Oh yeah, Mo's Cantina.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
I was just curious how he built that relationship or how he landed there as opposed to anywhere else in the city. Maybe you talked to him about kind of how he set up shop.
Yeah, a little bit. And like, there's two ways that we view those events. Like his is great, right? I've been to a lot of those founders. And if you haven't, right, they do Founders Night Out every month, I believe, at Mo's Cantina. Yep. And it's casual, right? It's like, you buy your own drink, beer, maybe like $8 a beer these days and stuff like that. But it's just nice. They section off the space, but to my knowledge, he doesn't have to pay like a rental fee or anything like that. It's just a good space. You go and collaborate, which we like, right? But we also want to understand, all right, well, founders or people go to events if it's free or if it's, I pay $20, but I get unlimited drinks and food and things like that. So what is that balance here, right? The coffee's great. I don't think I could be wrong, really coming here just for the coffee, right? You're coming to talk to all the other amazing people in this room and things like that. And so what is the really underlying aspect that brings people together outside of just coffee, drinks, food, whatever that is?
What is the sustainability model if you're a founder, you want to join? Can you talk about a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for us is that founders, right, we've had the privilege of having a 95% retention rate since we started. Unfortunately, not every founder, right, as you know, 90%, a majority of startups don't survive. And so what really kind of gave us that stickiness or that comfort to keep continuing is we saw founders that their first companies didn't work when they joined us, right? They were struggling with product market fit. Then they started something else and stayed with us and came back. And then we were able to help them at least get those first 10 customers, right? And build beyond that. And so we know that on average from idea to, we'll call it first 100 customers might take anywhere between, 10 months to 2 years. And after that point, there are certainly more qualified groups than us at Gildre to be able to help to that, Series B, to that IPO, whatever it is. But the idea is that the community that you build and the support through that way kind of keeps you connected there. So, we've only been around for almost 3 years now, so not long enough to see companies from idea to IPO yet. But the idea that, you could still build that community, whether the resources are like directly there. So hope that answers your question a little bit, but thank you. Yeah.
What's your goal with Gildre in terms of long term? You want to scale, venture scale, accelerator, keep it a community? What's the goal there?
Yeah, thank you. So, I mean, for us, we're not fully nonprofit, but we're also, so like our core membership starts at $59 a month. And for myself and my two partners, we all kind of had the goal where like, this isn't something that, we plan on retiring from or, being a unicorn off of community memberships. We did this from kind of personal reasons as we like to do it. My co-founder, Michael, he sits on a few advisory boards. His goal is to be on a public board of directors. So he leverages this as his personal way of doing that. For me, love the startup landscape, being able to mentor, but also do direct work has kind of been my interest. And then same for my third co-founder. So for us, we would love to build this out. I don't want to say we ever plan on putting like a member cap and saying, all right, at 1,000, we're done. But, I generally, aside from some burnout days, get to wake up super excited to be able to, again, meet amazing people and partners. So if I get the privilege to do that for the next 30 years, would more than love to. But we don't have initially a plan on venture scaling yet. We're all bootstrapped from our previous companies we've had. And so that's at least the current plan. But yeah, thanks. Or I think
Yeah, so I kind of think about you guys, kind of in the sense of like, venture capital, right? Providing support for startups, for founders at a certain stage in their journey, right? And so even in the realm of like, for example, venture capital, unless you're one of the massive players, they usually don't play in the game of pre-seed all the way up to like Series A, right? or even, if they are that broad, usually they'll focus on, like, let's say B2B SaaS or, B2C. So I guess, do you feel like there's a sense in which you're so broad that it's hard to, I guess, give people something particular to, like, what's, I guess, your pitch for a founder who's looking to look at your community as opposed to any of the other communities that are doing something similar to yours? Is there a particular sector in which you're kind of really trying to hone in on? Or what's that like?
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's funny. We were significantly broader in our approach for who we welcomed in when we first launched. I think, and we saw a lot of other communities out there. We're like, yeah, like you're a founder in any stage, like come on in. And I think once we got our first 100 members, we realized like it was such a big gap of who can support and who has knowledge. We have founders like Fritz Lahnman over at ClassPass, who raised over $500 million, and then first time founders. And not to say that the first time founder can't provide value, both ways, but we realized the best conversations really came from those, again, like your point, similar industries, similar groups. So we really looked to thin that down to that MVP to 5 million, which again is still a little bit broad, but a lot thinner than at least some of the other groups that we've seen. And right, and then Dan's part of it too.
With Gildre, Brian had reached out, and we just kind of had a candid conversation. I was just starting with Uber. When I started, it was like a whole directory of international and like domestic professionals that either have done it or founders that, again, like the application process, and we talk about this, is like not everyone is going to be accepted into the community in a way, because it really is for that group that is serious about what they're doing. And so luckily our dialogue was enough that really when I got into the community, I realized like everyone I was connecting with, like I had to be intentional, I had to follow up, I had to provide value. And for myself, like as a startup, like where can I provide value, right? And so that also teaches me like, one, to ask questions, two, to be resourceful, three, to always find some value to bring to these conversations, even if it's just a catch up. And now that same network I can reach out to with a new product or new updates, and those could be clients or other referrals. It's something they can send out, or the first year maybe the deck wasn't brushed up enough for them to send out to their network, but this year it is. And so that's kind of for myself growing through the Gildre network, in person and digitally. Like it really is what you make it, and your progress kind of gets rewarded as you go through your own journey.
Yep. But yeah, and that's applies to ourselves, right? I'm learning so much every day, and that was such a big reason why I wanted to take this opportunity to come and learn from you all, and hopefully those conversations will continue, outside of this room as well. So,
Thank you, Brian. Awesome. Ordinarily, we would pause between the first and second presenter. Actually, Brian, you got a little tumbler for you. I guess this is tumbler 2.
Tumbler 1. I didn't get one the first time.
Oh, look how buttoned up we are. Yeah, just the second one for second time up. So ordinarily we'd have a second presenter. They're not here today, so we'll have more time to connect. We just made another pot of coffee. Thank you, Zeko. But we usually pause anyway between the two and talk about events coming up or anything in the community around startups, activities.
Is anyone from MHub here by chance? No? Okay, that's that. Tomorrow there is go-to-market sales, critical thing. You know the worst part in the world. Distribution matters. Distribution is king.
Cash is king.
What?
Cash is king.
Yeah, cash is king.
Is a prince or a duchess or.
Anyways, MHub is hosting a free community event tomorrow, B2B sales.
Amazing.
So led by a former ADP executive, startup founder, and then now works for BBB. It's at 11 a.m. at MHub tomorrow. If you haven't plugged in the MHub community, it's another great resource here. So wanted to point that out because I know those could be super helpful for anyone that's in the B2B or doing B2B sales.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you. Did you?
Yeah, I have 2 events. One of my best buddies' wife is a stage manager at Second City, and for Black History
Cool.
Month, they're doing a Black and Highly Favored comedy skit. So it's every Thursday and Friday at 8 p.m. at Second City, and it supports different Black organizations across the city. So highly recommend to check that out every Thursday and Friday at Second City. And then March 1st, it's not summer yet. The groundhog, I don't know if it's all in chat or there's like 20 groundhogs now. But, Ava's Italian Ice in Bucktown is going to be doing their grand opening March 1st. They are going to do a lot of promotional events and some media around it, so it might be a little bit bigger scene. If you don't know Ava's Italian Ice, it's an organic fruit, no artificial ingredient Italian ice shop here in Chicago. It's a mom and pop shop. They have 4 daughters. Their first daughter is named Ava, and they're opening March 1st. So I'll keep y'all updated on that, but just keep it on your calendar because it's really fun to get in season there. So yeah.
That's awesome. You've always got something. Come on, Mary, lay it on us.
So I help lead the Chicago chapter of the AI Collective. Plus, I'm also VP of all of North America and Latin America. Anyway, for tomorrow, for the Chicago chapter, we are doing a Purcell V0 prompt to production hackathon workshop. So it's kind of fun too. You can do live coding essentially, and its Purcell platform is essentially it generates code for you underneath the hood. So whether you're a techie or not, it's not only for techies. So for anybody, you vibe code and create something and you put it onto the gallery, it will be up for public voting, and then winners will get some prize too. So that's tomorrow evening at the Chicago Innovation Center. It's a brand new place. It's on West Monroe. That's the entrance, and it's on Luma as well. But I do have to say, right now we have like 134 people sign up, and they only have seats for 60. Actually, they do have some extra seats everywhere scattered. So if you don't mind sitting on the floor, you can actually do that. And also another option is we also will be live streaming it, so you can also join on Zoom as well. But you do need to sign up first, and then we can send you the link to the Zoom, which we will set up tomorrow. So, and just so you know, and then another event that we're coming up, if you're a techie, deep tech too, we're talking about AI agents on the 19th of February, and that will be at Microsoft. And it's actually will be very interesting because we'll have a startup company, they're working, and their new feature is actually called Hindsight. Vectorize is the company, and they talk about AI agent memory system. It's actually pretty cool. If you are really into deep tech, I think you find it interesting. Plus, also an IBM engineer will also do a demo of a weather app using AI agents as well. So that's more of a techie type of thing. But if you want to come, I mean, it's for everybody.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, and then small plug for ShireRL, but all the events are just listed on ShireRL. So if you guys want to stay on top of events.
That's the thing I mentioned last week.
CHIRL.
Yeah. CHIIRL.com.
Carlos is the head of our little team there. So, and if you hear an event that you don't see on there, please let us know. We're always trying to improve our algorithm for streaming.
Yeah, so does your algorithm then just kind of pull from other events in person versus in Chicago, or?
Yeah, Luma, Meetup.
Hi.
You know, like there's something from the public library this week. If it's like tech related, yeah, if there's like an org that we missed that you think is good, let us know.
Yeah, CHIIRL.com. And every week you'll get in your inbox, like here are the 15 to 20 events in the city these days.
Soon, by chance? Anyone looking to fundraise? Okay, yeah. All right, I need to get. This is not a public offering. This is an event. I will get it. We need to get it on IRL. So everything that's she's a VC. I work with. She's phenomenal. She's actually based in Bentonville, Arkansas, but does a lot within the Chicago community. They're hosting an event on Monday with Form Ventures. What makes a startup fundable? And basically walking through how to term sheet, getting the yes, that kind of thing. They're doing a whole series. So if you're looking to raise or you're looking to do funding or whatnot, we probably should send it to the IRL. But yeah, it's also on Luma, or just hit me up. I can send you the invite. She literally just sent it to me.
Okay.
And said send it to Chicago Founders. So
amazing.
Their last event was really, really good, and they bring like the big San Francisco VCs to the east. It's really, really exciting. So anyway, no, it's all virtual. Virtual. So you join on.
Yeah, you have to go to Arkansas.
Yeah, go there.
So this is not exactly an event, but there will be events with an organization I'm involved with. It's called Bandwidth Chicago. It is a fantastic performing arts organization.
Cool.
So they're starting a first Friday meetup with music, dancing, community, etc. So that starts the first Friday in March. But they're also looking for a youth choral director, part-time. If any of you are tapped into the music world and are looking for, I don't know, ways to sing and get paid for it and spend some time with some inspiring youth and be a part of a fantastic organization that is out there. So happy to connect you with whatever information.
Amazing.
Sorry to add in, but if we're saying events that will be happening but are not set up just yet, I run the Chicago Mail user group for people interested in email technology. It is invite only, email only, so we communicate via email. If that's something you're interested in and you like email technology and want to see how to improve it, hit me up and we'll get you invited. We're going to have events soon. So, yeah.
Oh, there you have it. Amazing. Well, this is, yeah.
And last thing, if you're here today because you wanted to check out this event and you wanted to volunteer, come see me after. I know some people were going to be here. So come see me and we can talk about getting you on the team.
Yay. And then one last thing to add.
Oh my God. All right.
One of the organizations is VC Village that I also help run, and so we do an event tomorrow at the 3 Cities Social Wicker Park location. So if you're an LP, fund manager, even if you're an associate analyst, anywhere in the space, please let me know. We'd be more than happy to have you. Free food, drinks, all that stuff. So that's the.
Any more one last things? Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody. We're going to take some pictures up front with the speaker and the organizers. We'll be here next week, 2 presenters, and stick around and have some coffee and meet somebody new. Thank you.
Or like, that's a long
Not through here, but we can try. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's do.
It was so funny. That was the most
Spotify. That was the most expensive I've seen. Well, there's a lot going on.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Chicago.
I was just about to ask. Oh yeah. They set us the bar.
I don't see. Let's take pictures. I don't hear anything.